guys, welcome to the channel. It's Adam ND72. So today we're back with my SL55 AMG. So, as you see, I'm kind of wearing a cozy little shirt because here in Florida, it's kind of getting to our boost weather where it's roughly 70 degrees out, 65 degrees out. So I want the SL to be running good and all ready to start adding more power and start having some fun with this bad girl. But I did buy this car secondhand. It is a car with well over 170,000 miles on it. It was not maintained the best at some aspects of it. So today we're going to be doing a few maintenance items. Mainly I have a pretty medium transmission leak. So hopefully that's an easy fix. Maybe just like a pan gasket or a nag plug. Something nothing too crazy. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to do some diff oil on this stuff. Just because a lot of people neglect the diffs. And if you remember my SLK, that thing was super burnt. So this one might be pretty burnt. But I just want to do that fluid because most people don't do it. Then we're going to do an oil change, and we'll kind of give a car a good, like, once-over of looking over everything, just because I want to start adding more power to this and start upgrading it and having some fun. But I want to basically drain the oil. I want to check the oil, make sure I don't see no metal chunks coming out. I want to, same thing with the diff, make sure no metal chunks come out, and then deal with the transmission. So that should be, like, the three main oils, in my opinion. So I'm not really going to be dealing with the coolant today because I want to do the whole split cooling system with this, so I will be draining that coolant anyway, so I'm not going to even bother with that today. Today's just kind of going over all my other fluids, checking them, make sure there's no excessive wear or anything crazy like that. Nothing really bad with this car before I start dumping even more money into it. So, let's get to that. First thing, transmission leak is the big thing. So as you can see, it's after roughly 1 week of sitting, and that's all tranny fluid. So we're going to scrub this whole floor down and then go there and try to find the leak. Okay, so we're down here under the SL55 looking at the tranny stuff. So it's basically moist all over. So what I'm going to do is basically clean it all off, and then we'll try to look for the drip, because this is a pretty prominent leak. So we'll go and clean it all down, and then check it out. Okay, so we let this thing sit for a little bit. So we wiped it all down, and, oh, wait, I can see. So right here. Can you see on camera? Yep, I got a little drip right there. So we'll pull this bolt out. Well, first we'll make sure this bolt's tight, because it's definitely dripping from, like, either this area or up on the nag plug. So let's pull that bolt out, and then go from there. Oh yeah, it's seeping right from up there. You see it? It's coming right from the O-ring in this plug. So let me go in my little tool area and my storage area and see if I got another plug and everything like that. These are pretty common. They're called nag plugs. They're not that expensive, but if you let it get too bad, it'll actually travel up the wire and ruin your TCU. So we're going to go and change that one out and clean it all out. Okay, so even with me sitting here, you can still see it's still even dripping a little bit more as I got all the tools. So these are pretty straightforward to do. You're just going to pull this little strap down. And you see how the plug starts popping out there? Let me get a little bit better lighting on that. Alright, so now you can just like pull the plug out. Oh, look at it. It's dripping. Oh, and I got a pan, so let's throw a pan under there. So yeah, we are covered in fluid right here. Look, this plug is dumping out, so we're going to go grab our handy-dandy 7mm and just be very gentle with these. You don't want to break it into the conductor plate. So get it on there. I'm going to have to move the camera because the camera is in my way, but we're going to pull this bad girl out. Alright, so we get the nut out. Let me try to get it so you can actually see. So once the nut's all out, you're going to be losing fluid, and that's fine. I got plenty of fluid, so I'm just going to let it drip out. Alright. So, 90% sure what fails always on these nag plugs are just like the little O-rings right here. So, what we're going to do is actually, I don't know if you can see it, this one's a little bit smushed. So, this part, if you want to get the whole assembly, it's like 15 effing bucks. Or I just have a crap load of O-rings, metric O-rings, so I'm just going to match it up. You get these on Amazon, you get them at like AutoZone, they're all over the place. So I'm just going to match it up, put your O-rings on and put it in, because it's kind of going to be a cheap, free fix. If I have to, I'll order the plugs. These are, like I said, $10, $15. I just won't get it until Wednesday, and I want to knock out the car today. So we're going to put it in, and this leak was pretty dominant, so I'm going to know pretty quick if this doesn't fix it, but I'm pretty effing sure it will. I just got to make sure I have the right size O-ring. So I'll match it up, and I'll actually tell you which size I used. So if you want to try, just order an O-ring, but these kits are pretty cheap, and I use them all the time. So let's match it up. So we get the O-rings, and on my little chart, they say they're R23 and R26s. Don't really know what that really converts to, but they are thicker. So we're going to see if these do work. Or these are just so smushed down, because if you could see, you see in the camera, this is the one that was leaking. This is the new one.
That's pretty effing different. So that could just be my O-ring kit is too thick. But if it goes in there and these smush down and it seals, yeah, it works. As long as it still makes a connection. So now we're going to take over there, we're going to brake clean the crap out of that whole plug, because I don't want anything to mess with my transmission stuff. And then we'll try to make sure the thread's in there. And just also, when you're threading these in with the 7, be very, very careful. Use like a 1/4-inch drive. You don't want to go too much or you'll crack it, and then you need a whole new conductor plate. So just take your time. Be gentle with it. And then don't call me if you break it. If you break it, that's all on you. So I'm going to go throw mine in there. Be very gentle with it. And then we're going to let it sit and make sure it don't drip.
All right, so the new plug, well, the new gaskets are all in. It's all cleaned off. The cover's on. So we got this whole area done. So now we're going to start moving on to more of the maintenance stuff, which we're going to go all the way to the back of this differential. Ooh, so fancy, so nice. So we'll do a nice little diff service on this. We're going to drain it, fill it. Very, very simple. Give everything a good once over. And also what I can see right now with this car, I got a rip boot right there. I don't see no grease slung anywhere, but it's clearly, I don't know if you guys can, yeah, see? Let me move yeah, I got a rip boot. So that is unfortunate. But these should be pretty simple to drain and fill. I just got to find the, yep, right there. So we're going to set everything up and start working on this. All right, so guys, before you do any diff service, you always want to make sure you get the fill plug cracked first, because if you can't get that loose, then you can't fill it back up, and then you're in a bad situation. So we got our Allen on there, and just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We're not in there too hard. Ow. And they are a 14. So a 14 Allen, we'll get this out. And make sure you just get it all the way out before you do anything. So I'm going to get the ratchet, pull it all the way out, and then keep going. Now also, this stuff really does stink, so don't really get it on your clothes or anything. Gear oil stinks really bad. And I have a ratcheting wrench too. This is annoying as crap. So we're already dripping out, so that's a good sign. All right, so now we're gonna start working on the drain plug, which is right here. Same kind of way you were doing it. Break it loose, pull it out. Had to move the camera because I don't want it to shoot all over the camera. So now you just let that drain all out. Examine everything. Make sure you got no metal shavings, no nothing crazy in there. But it doesn't look too black. It looks burnt, like a little brown, but not. My SLK was so much worse. So we're just gonna let that sit and drain now. All right, so now it's basically all just dripping. We got our new plug. Well, not our new plug. But we got our plug all cleaned off, and we got new Teflon tape on it. So now we're just gonna thread this bad girl back in. And let me say this stuff smells pretty bad. Oh, crank that bad girl in there. And these don't gotta be crazy tight. That's why I have like this small little ratchet, because you don't want to strip any threads out. But you don't want it to leak. Alright, that's good. Now we're gonna move to the fill side. Alright, so now we got everything all drained out. We got our handy dandy Valvoline little push-in pouch thingy, so you don't have to like go do anything crazy anymore. We got our tip all cut off, so this should just push right up and be pretty easy. I've used these quite a bit before. So you just find your hole, get that back girl in there, and then just squeeze. Pretty easy. Now it does suck with the exhaust right there, but it is what it is. Alright, so we got that half one in there. And then we get our other one. The big benefit of these is you don't need no pump, you don't need nothing crazy or weird. You can just you just get these and just squeeze them in. And allegedly they use less plastic, so they're more environmental friendly. Then you want to keep going until you see it dripping out of the top, out of the fill plug, so.
So we're gonna need one more, or a little more. This probably should take 2 full ones, and I had like 1.5, so. All right, now that you got it all filled up and wiped down, you're gonna put your plug back in with your Teflon, and then you're done over here. And get rid of your gear oil, your used one, really quick, because it's got an odor to it. All right, so next we're gonna be changing our oil. You have 2 drain plugs, one over here, which is a 13, and then one over here on these, which is also a 13. But it looks like we got some leakage here. So we'll be changing, I'm pretty sure I got new plugs. So pull both of them out, that way we drain every bit of oil out of this. And then give it all fresh Mobil 1 stuff. All right, we got this one draining out. It's pretty black, so this one definitely needed an oil change. So we're gonna let this pan fully drain out, then we're gonna go to the front bolt and actually see how much comes out of the front one once we let this one fully drain. All right, so we got this front one cracked. Now let's see how much oil actually comes out of the front one. And I'm going to get a new plug and a washer. Copper gasket, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, that's a lot. So make sure you always change them. And so what's most likely leaking on this is the little copper washer on there. So I got a few of them, so I'll throw a new one in there. And then hopefully I'll stop that little leak. But we're going to let this sit here and drain all out because that is quite a bit that comes out of that front. All right, so now we got the brand new bolt and brand new washer, and we're gonna spray it all down. Get this whole area kind of cleaned up, and then go up top. All right, next up, we just got a nice little man filter for the filtration of the oil, and we're just gonna break the little oil filter housing loose. Can do it with one hand. Oh, I can. Oh, wait, did I? Yeah. We're going to pull it off. There's like 4 or 5 gaskets in here we're going to replace. Throw a new filter in there. And then this bad girl's getting oil. Oh, so I don't forget about the oil. Let's put that there. I usually do this just like it won't let me close the hood. So I always remember to put oil. Because that'll be bad. Alright. Here's this bad girl. I'm going to go rebuild all the gaskets and throw a new filter. Alright, so I'm just going to use some Mobil 1 040 on this. Should take like 7.5, 8 quarts with the cooler. And we're going to start pouring that bad girl in. Alright, so we got all the oil in. So we did the diff, the trans, the engine oil. So now I'm not going to top off the transmission oil yet. I want to fire up the car and let it run for a little bit. Because you have to get it at operating temperature to get a proper reading. And I want to make sure I got no more leaks. So we're going to go fire it up, let it sit for a little bit. And I'll check everything. Alright, so now we got all the fluids. We got it fired up. Let's go under and see if we see anything dripping out. Because last time it was pretty effing obvious when it was dripping. Alright, so we're under here. It looks pretty clean. I don't know if you're really going to hear me that well. But before we were dripping pretty aggressively. Now all I really see is just like the brake clean I sprayed everything off with. Nothing by the plug anymore. So pretty good. Let's go a little once over of this whole car. No drippy drips. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, so we got the transmission topped off. Everything we looked under, gave it a good once over. It's looking pretty good. So I haven't found any big signs that this car is not ready to make some more boost and more power and just go be a fun little zipping GT car. So far, nothing's staying out there. Knock on effing wood. Everyone in YouTube land, just knock on some wood. So the car seems pretty healthy. So as of right now, I'm going to go forward to start spending even more money on Go Fast parts. This one sounds pretty healthy. Let's hear it rev. Like, not bad. I will say some of my other cars sound better. So we will have to do something with that exhaust eventually. And you have like almost no whine. You have a faint whine. Like, listen. Okay, almost nothing. But hopefully you guys liked the video. Remember, I'm Adam with ND72. Throw a comment down, throw a like. The next videos should be tune, split cooling, maybe a pulley. Definitely got my 92mm throttle body that I will be throwing on this stuff. So hopefully you guys like it, and I'll talk to you later.